The national chairman of the opposition National Democratic Congress, the NDC, Ofosu Ampofo, has been granted bail after he was interrogated by the police. He has been charged for conspiracy to commit crime, threat of harm and rioting.
Now, Mr. Ampofo has been captured on a leaked audio in which he has been heard saying a lot of comments that have been condemned widely by various persons. This necessitated the invitation by the police to the CID headquarters today. Anna Seidu has more.
Embattled chairman of the NDC, Ofosu Ampofo, arrived at the CID headquarters in the company of his legal representation led by Tony Later and former Attorney General Betimo Idrisu. National and regional party executives, as well as a teeming crowd of party supporters, were also there to support him as the police begins investigation into a leaked tape attributed to him. After over 4 hours of waiting, party leadership complained that he had been left unattended to. National organizer of the NDC, Joshua Hamidu Akamba, alleged that the police were scheming to detain Ofosu Ampofo. But after spending about 10 hours at the CID headquarters, Ofosu Ampofo was released on bail after he was slapped with 3 charges. The charges are conspiracy to commit a crime to wit causing harm, conspiracy to commit a crime to wit threat of harm, and rioting.
Move on to some other stories. And there was near chaos at the Takoradi District Court today, where the Nigerian suspect standing trial for his alleged role in the kidnapping of 3 girls, Sam Wills, was nearly assaulted by angry family members. Now, the families who have repeatedly complained about the delay in the trial of the suspect for escaping cells, as well as the continuous disappearance of the girls, were infuriated today when the presiding judge at the Takoradi District Court, Michael Ampedu, adjourned the case again to 1st April 2019 to allow investigators to help the suspect produce his witness. Now, Certain News' Kwesi Aning has more.
The Nigerian suspected kidnapper appeared at the Takoradi District Court amidst tight security with the expectation of producing his witness, Kwesi, in his case of escaping from lawful custody, destroying public property and resisting arrest. Suspect Wills, however, told the court he rather led the investigators to Eastern Region to arrest one Kodak, a Ghanaian who can help him to locate his witness, as Kodak is an accomplice in the kidnapping case. Presiding Judge Michael Ampedu said the case before him is only escape from custody, hence adjourned the proceedings to April 1st for investigators to interrogate Kodak on the whereabouts of Kwesi. As usual, family and friends of the 3 kidnapped girls who were at the court showed disappointment with the delay, and some even wrestled the police in order to attack the suspect. Father of one of the kidnapped girls, Alexander Kranche, questioned the Attorney General about their representation in this matter.
What is the escape? What brought about the escape? I did not do this kidnapping. So someone to stood on his feet for it.
Security analyst Dr. Kwesi Aning has told the CNR Commission of Inquiry probing the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election violence that political party vigilantism cannot be dealt with until trust is built between the security agencies and the political parties.
Now, President Akufo-Addo said his administration will pass a legislation to check the menace if the 2 main political parties fail to disband such groups voluntarily. But Dr. Aning, who was one of 4 persons to have appeared before the commission today, said this is easier said than done. Eugenia Tangran has more.
Dr. Kwesi Aning painted a horrific picture of the transformation of these vigilante groups from ordinary foot soldiers who he says have now become armed militias. According to him, the number of these groups has jumped from 16 to 26 between 2016 and 2019. He told the commission the quest to disband these groups will be a mirage without a process to build trust between the security forces and the political parties. Nonetheless, he told the commission the country has enough time to prevent a repeat of the Ayawaso by-election violence in election 2020. The General Secretary of the governing New Patriotic Party, John Bwedu, who also took his stand before the commission today, said political violence can be checked if security forces remain firm and resolute in dealing with culprits.
Let's move on to issues to do with education, because the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition, that's GNEC, says it has enough proof that the Ghana Partnership Schools project, which seeks to privatize some basic schools on pilot basis, will fail. The coalition thus wants government to scrap the project, which is expected to be rolled out this September. Now, the Council of State has met with President Ofosu to deliberate on some recent developments in the country. The meeting, which is the first between the President and the Council this year, will, among other things, discuss recent concerns raised by importers and exporters over what they call exorbitant fees and levies being charged at the country's ports. City News' Sami Uefi has more.
Today's meeting, the first in the year 2019, saw the Council of State commend President Ofosu for starting the year on a good note with the reopening of the Obuasi mines and the creation and subsequent inauguration of the 6 new regions. Chairman of the Council, Nana Otuo Sirbo II, in his opening remarks said the Council's engagement with stakeholders has reviewed discontent among importers and exporters over exorbitant duties, levies and taxes on imported goods at the ports. President Ofosu, on his part, called for more engagement with the Council of State to discuss pressing national issues.
Now, starting Tuesday, March 5, there will be no one to clean, embalm and prep dead bodies for burial in all public hospital morgues across the country. This is because the Mortuary Workers Association of Ghana, MOAG, has resolved to go through with its intended nationwide strike.
Now, this comes after a meeting with the Ministry of Health, which failed to produce a clear roadmap towards increasing their salaries and improving their working conditions. City News' Niyama Ama has the details.
This is not the first of such meetings between the mortuary workers and the Ministry of Health. In November last year, a similar threat to strike sparked a series of such engagements, which culminated in the strike being called off. But this time, the strike will go on. According to the group, what was agreed upon, which included the counter-proposal from the ministry and a discussion with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, have all not been met. And this time, the group won't have any of the promises they claimed they have all had before.
We think they are not taking us serious.
In effect, mortuaries across the country will from Tuesday look more deserted.
In fact, tomorrow, the strike will start in earnest. All mortuary workers in this country will lay down their tools.